Hello again. So, I was thinking today, and I wanted to share some of my tips for how I quit smoking. I know there's a lot of stuff out there, and it's really the underlying process that's most important. So, I smoked from the time I was 15 and a half, maybe, to the time I was 29. And granted, the biggest things that helped me quit smoking was the fact that when I was sick, hacking, coughing, the last thing I wanted to do was a cigarette. So the last time that I quit smoking, I got the flu for a couple weeks, and I was so tired of hacking and coughing, in addition to a little bit of touch of smoker's cough, that I just went ahead and quit. But prior to that, I had put in the the anchors for me to quit smoking. And what that journey looks like is this. If first of all, if you are tired of being addicted to smoking, don't quit. Be aware of your smoking habit so that when you choose to quit, it's a choice of empowerment, not a choice of like, oh, I have to quit. Oh, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of that. Take that step and use it to be aware that you're smoking. Like, how many times have you been outside smoking a cigarette and you're like, oh, dude, it's gone. I remember that. I'm gonna light up another one. Or you go back outside. We smoked outside. Don't smoke around the kids and whatnot. We just smoked outside. So it's like you go inside and then you decide to go back outside and have another cigarette because you like didn't really get to enjoy it. So the first step is to become an empowered smoker. Like, realize that, not identify as a smoker, but like you realize that you smoke. You want to release all the things that are chains. Like someone lit up a cigarette on TV and they're like, oh, I'm gonna light up a cigarette. Oh, well, we went to the bar. I don't think I ever went that much, but I go to the bar and it's like, oh, I've got to smoke, and then smoke a half pack that night. So all these things that you attribute to smoking. Oh, dinner was great. Thanks, honey. I'm gonna go have a cigarette. Just woke up, gonna have a cigarette. About to go to bed. I better have that cigarette before I go to bed. Maybe I'll smoke too. Just won't be smoking all night. So take all those things and be aware that you're smoking. Smoke because you want to. Take a moment and go, do I really want a cigarette? And if you say, yeah, then have a cigarette. So that's the first step. Become an aware smoker. Don't smoke because outside influences reminded you that you wanted a cigarette. Smoke because you want a cigarette. And then the second technique is, if you want to have a cigarette, put it off for 5 minutes. Seems simple enough, but it's actually harder than you think. And it's okay if you can't do it right away. Build to that 5 minutes. The whole point is to, in the moment when you want a cigarette, give yourself the control to say, I'm going to wait 5 minutes and then I will have that cigarette. And when you eventually get good at that, the next step is to extend that time. Make it 10 minutes. And then after you get at that, make it 15. 15 is a pretty good spot because a lot of times you're like, I'm going to have a cigarette in 15 minutes. So you look at the clock and then you go on about your business. And before you know it, 20, 30 minutes has passed, an hour has passed. You're like, oh man, I forgot I wanted a cigarette. At that point, either decide to go ahead and have a cigarette or put it off again. But don't beat yourself up. Go ahead and have that cigarette if you want to. So once you're done that, you pretty much put it in a position of control. So now you can decide to empower yourself. First of all, you're smoking less already. You're saving money. So you can either take that money, like if you normally buy a carton a week or 14 packs a week, now you're buying 1 pack less, 2 pack less. Take that money and put it up. Put it in a can, forget about it. Put it in an envelope, put it inside your drawer. So as you're doing this, depending on the time frame it takes you, if it's been enough time that you got a little bit of money put up, take that money and do something nice for yourself, reward yourself, or just count it and keep putting it towards a trip or something you want to do. Because when you get to the end of almost completely not smoking or deciding to up and quit altogether, and you're already doing, 15, 20 minutes waiting to have a cigarette, you know, now your smoking has gotten significantly less, and you're only smoking when you want to. So you've cut out the morning cigarette, the nighttime cigarette, the dessert cigarette after dinner, the cigarette after sex, obviously. So you take those cigarettes and you push them further and further back, and you smoke less. You have more money that you're putting into this fund, and you can really see, like, be aware, being a conscious smoker, you can see how much money you're spending on it. And anywhere in there, you can empower yourself to quit if you want to, or continue to smoke and you're smoking a lot less, and congratulate yourself for hitting that point. So I did these things, and then I had gotten the flu, and I was like, I'm done. And I also, when I did quit, every moment when I did crave a cigarette, I chose to decide that I preferred breathing better. If you have to, do a breathing exercise, treat yourself and just breathe and enjoy that oxygen, enjoy the life, visualize it as you're doing it. And then also too, the other thing that I noticed was after about a month of not smoking, because I decided if I wanted a cigarette, I was going to have a cigarette, but I really choose breath. I really choose to finally quit this time. I empowered myself, and I did quit, and I haven't had a cigarette since. That was when I was 29 and some change, and now I'm 43. So, math. It's like 14 years, something like that. So anyways, the thing also too is when I got to this point, after about a month, I started not caring for the smell. Like, I still love the smell of a Zippo, because you light that Zippo, oh, it's great. But I started not caring for it, and then about 6 months in, probably, I found my wife still smokes, but I found that I was actually repulsed by it, almost nauseated by the smell of it. So I had to really be careful not to take it out of my wife, because she did nothing wrong. We smoked together for a long time. We go outside in the middle of winter, freeze our butts off smoking cigarettes, and just, that was our bonding thing. So it was a struggle, but I just thought I'd share something that I did to quit smoking, because also it helps you apply this same mentality to other habits. I've also taught myself to stop eating that last bite of hamburger. You went to go out to eat, and you're eating, and you've got a little bit left, and it's not enough to save, but you don't want to waste it. I had to get rid of that mentality. It's not an abundance mindset. Sure, you don't want to be wasteful, but also you want to treat yourself. You eat that last few bites, and then you're stuffed and you're miserable, because then you're trying to drink something like soda, and it just makes it worse. So I used a similar concept, not quite the 15-minute things, but the awareness of going, okay, I don't want to waste that burger. That's my programming as a child, that waste not, want not. But at the same time, I had to realize that I love myself, and I didn't love the way I felt after that. And just by doing that, and not eating leftovers so they didn't go to waste, not standing open and staring at the fridge and eating just because I was bored. There was other things I did, like I'd drink water before I ate to help fill my stomach a little bit. I've never really been a hardcore diet person, but I was overweight as a kid. And actually, right now I'm working on my health. The particular job that I'm about to be out of, and go into my full-time purpose of coaching. Well, that job takes a lot of energy. It tears my body up. I have no energy. I'm having to do protein shakes to help keep up for the physical labor of it, and it just destroys my body. And so I'm like, I don't have the energy to go make something to eat, so I just kind of grab what's there, and so I've fallen back. But I actually did once upon a time find out that I was a diabetic, and I had to lose a bunch of weight and get my sugar down. And the way that I did that was now I don't recommend it because it is a little unhealthy in the fact of it wasn't balanced. But basically, I kept my carbs and my sugars below 20 milligrams, and that's what I ate. I drank nothing but water. Sometimes black coffee, black tea after the first couple weeks. But for about 5 weeks, I just ate salads and omelets. And I had all the meat I wanted, all the cheese I wanted. I used my 20 milligrams of carbs and sugar for ketchup as a condiment. Mustard had zero sugar. I think it might be 0 carbs. Sour cream was good. A lot of other stuff was pretty good. But just a lot of cheese, bacon, and meat. So it wasn't very balanced. There was no fruit in there. And also I didn't count the lettuce and tomato as carbs or sugar. I just counted the toppings. But I actually went from 290, 295 down to about 245 maybe. And then the job that I went to after that, the actual reason that happened was I went to get DOT certified because I was going to be driving a box truck for a sales and lease place doing the accounts department. And in order to get DOT certified, I had to have 30 days of my sugar and then also try to get it under control. Now, by doing that, my sugars were great, my weight was great, but then, driving in a box truck, running accounts, knocking doors, turned in a lot of gas station food, and I put that weight back on. But anyways, I'm doing better now. I mostly drink water. Sometimes I drink like energy drinks, which is not healthy for me. But I'm just trying to balance this particular job that I'm just about done with. And anywho, that's just some health tips. Please, of course, consult a physician if you have any health issues. Make sure if you do any of these things that you let a physician know. Not so much for the smoking, but like for the eating. If you do try the carnivore diet or whatever, it is really my version of an Atkins diet. I just catered it to what I want. I don't eat fish. I do eat chicken. I did eat chicken, yeah. But pretty much it just was salads and omelets, and I just ate that a lot, and it was delicious. I lost a bunch of weight. But again, like I said, if you try to do anything like that, if I was to do it again, which I had considered, but it is kind of expensive and time consuming to eat real food. But one thing I'd recommend is introducing fruits, a small amount anyways, and vegetables. Just kind of try to balance it out a little bit. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to share that information. I know it's not necessarily spiritual per se, and this particular channel, I really want to help others grow spiritually, but that is a part of it, because if you have weight issues, if you have unhealthy habits, that does cause you to be in a lower vibration, and it's harder to connect to spirit. I've definitely noticed on days when I've ate things that I knew I shouldn't, that it was harder to connect, to meditate, to focus. But I just wanted to share my story and share my information, and if it helps any of you guys, just put a comment below, say how it helped, tell us where you're at. We'll give you all the support we can. Have a great day. Thank you.